Hey, what's up and welcome to this very new tutorial. My name is Mr. Popo and we are Popo. In this tutorial, I'm going to take you through this little exploration that I tried to do in how to reveal a hologram or an object. So as you can see, it's a very detailed process on workflow on how to get this really high detail scan and reveal animation. There's a lot that we need to talk about here, like really a lot. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. This is just going to be a breakdown tutorial, but on my Patreon, link on the description, you will find a step-by-step also included all the project files for this. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first thing, when you start thinking about this project, the first thing that you see is it's too complicated. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna give up. All right, goodbye, close Cinema 4D and leave. That's not just how it works. For this project, I really did not intend it to be this way. I just wanted a reveal, and then I just kept on adding onto it. Like every day, I just like add a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit, until I felt like, oh, actually, this is going somewhere. And then I got my ideas straight. Again, you know me, I go take a walk, and then I get my ideas really clear, and then I start pushing through. And this project would have not come this way if I did not start from a very black canvas. So this might be really scary, like this black canvas, like nothing is happening. But you need to start doing something. And I do remember the first thing that I tried to do when I was trying this kind of thing, I did not start with a whole airplane. But what I did was I started with a cube. And then I changed that cube just to see if it's gonna work really well. I do remember that I changed it, and then I went to, what is it called again? This platonic thing. And then I'm like, all right, well, this is working really well. So I'm just gonna, give it a go. And yeah, that just happened to really give me great results. At least I'm happy with the results. So let's see what I did to actually get this. Well, the first thing is we need to talk about a lot of things, but the first thing we need to talk about is the importance of your model. All right, so this is working just because my model is, the topology of my model is well done. So I literally have quads here. And I barely have triangles. Everything is just quads. It's like 4 lines around a single polygon. So it's barely you'll find a triangle or something. And that's what made this technique really well. Because we'll see later on when I try to subdivide this, which gives me all these extra detail here, like scan looking thing. If we just brush through, you'll see this kind of details here, and also the details here, and also the details here. So it's like all these things are just because the model, the topology of my model is well done. So that's one thing. And that's why this technique worked on a cube, worked on primitives, because it's basically based on quads. And the topology is really well done. So that's what made this really work really great. So that was one. So I made sure I find the best model that really have a great topology, and then I just downloaded it. I think I got this from Sketchfab, so I'm pretty sure you'll get it there. If you just type aircraft or vehicle or something like that. I remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. So yeah, so that's about the model. And then the next thing that I did was just try to find a good way to actually frame this, like to see its glory. And for me, if I want to see really great things, I'll just go with a very like a narrow lens, like a very close up. So I'll go to 135. Normally you start with 36, which is just classic. And if we try to jump to 36, you'll just get here. So maybe this is something that you want to go for. Maybe this is the look that you want to go for. But I wanted something really dramatic, something like this, like very close and personal. So yeah, it just worked well for me. And to animate the camera, I saved myself some time, and what I did was I just put an arc. So if you just get out of the camera, you will see that we will have an arc here, as you can see here. And basically what's happening is the camera is just flowing through it. So what's happening here? So I go in here, and then I do an align to spline, and in that align to spline I just choose whatever spline that I have, which is the path that my camera is going to take. And in the same time I create a null, and then I put it somewhere where I want my camera to completely focus. If you see the camera, it is always following that null wherever it goes. So if I try to go here and show you, it will always look towards that direction, which is really good. And to do that, I created another tag called the target tag, and I went into this target, and then I put the null here. So you can say that this is a focus kind of thing. So yeah, and then my model is here. We'll talk about everything else shortly. So that's when it comes to the model, and that's when it comes to the camera and its animation. One thing that I need to tell is what's going to happen when you try to get this. For example, you'll see here in After Effects, I have all my particles and everything that I've done, all the particles and everything that I've done inside of After Effects that are following the camera. Now, if you try to if I try to do this for a second, so if I try to import my Cinema 4D camera, for example this one, so I'm just going to do it just out of NDA stuff that I have here. I don't want to show. I'm just going to go to the file, and I'm just going to import the Cinema 4D, because this is how you get a file from a camera from your Cinema 4D. So I'm just importing. Just give me a second, because the project file is pretty big. I still importing. I hope you guys are doing well, happy, and at least going through your goals and achieving them slowly. All right, so we got our camera. So I'll just go here, and then I'll just go extract the cameras, and then I'll have my camera. Now the problem here is that the camera here is not moving, because there's literally no what do we call that? There's literally no keyframes. If I press U, there's literally no keyframes here. So my camera is not having any data that I had that I have here. And the reason for this, it's because it's actually using a tag, and After Effects does not understand that. To solve that issue, what you need to do is you need to select your camera, and then let's just say that you go into your let's just say to your curve, to your timeline, and then you select you make sure that you're selecting it, and then you go to what do we call that, function bake object. So once you bake the object, click OK. It's baking. Wait, what? Oh. What is going on now? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So you just need to select the camera. And so what happened here is I have a camera that now has all the keyframes baked in. So if I go back into my After Effect, and then I'll try to reload this, and then I'll just bring this here, and then I'll just say extract the camera. Now I will have a camera that I think I need to import this again. Hold on 1 second. I didn't even save. Okay, well that makes sense. Okay, so we'll just import the camera. And we'll just put it here, extract. And now we have all the cameras, and now my camera is actually moving. So if I go into custom view, I'll have my camera that is actually moving, as you can see here, which is pretty cool. So that is a little way to solve that problem of the camera is not moving. Cool. So I don't need this. I'm just going to delete that. I'm just going to delete this. Perfect. Okay, so that's when it comes to the camera and how I animated it. And also there is something that is really problematic that I see a lot, and I used to make this mistake a lot until I started watching some senior motion designers and what they do and stuff like that, is just only put the things that you need in your scene. You don't need to build the whole room. Nobody's gonna really care about your project file, to be honest. Like, you only care about your project file because it's yours, and you're not gonna really care for it entire life. It's just for that project. So don't build everything that is not going to be in view. There is no need to do that. So why I'm mentioning that, it's because, for example, when I downloaded this, I literally had this golf, I don't know what it's called, this golf thing, and it's not useful. Because if I try to do later on, like some simulations and stuff like that, and particles and cloners and things like that, it's gonna account for this as well. And when it's rendering, it's gonna account for this as well. And I think that's just stupid to just waste a lot of time and memory and GPU processing power just for something that nobody really cares about, nobody really gonna care about, and the project file is just gonna be forgotten to oblivion. RIP. Press F in the chat. So that's something that I'm gonna tell you. It's like, just put the things that you need. You don't need to see more of this code. You don't need more than that. That's it. This is the maximum you're going to see of the code. That's it. That's all you need to put. All right. So that's a little bit rant about what you put in your scene. And then let's talk about how we're going to set up the scan animation. So for the scan animation, basically it is really simple. What you need to do, this is what's really important, is what I did here first before I talk about this. So I'm just gonna copy this. I'm just gonna make a new project. I'm just gonna paste this in here, and I just want to show you this. So for example, if I want to do let me just get this. Let me just get that out. Cool. So if I want to do something about this, let's just say this. So I basically have this very boring quads topology, and what I like to do, you could use the X particles. I don't like X particles. I don't really advise it, but I just used it here because not everyone is gonna have this topoformer. So if you have the topoformer, just use the performer. But X particles is just trash plugin, kind of a scam plugin. And I don't really support X particles at all. The reason I have it is just because a client paid me a lifetime membership, so I don't really pay for this. So yeah, you have this subdivider or this topoformer, and the reason we're gonna use it is if I put it here, you'll see that my I got more topology, as you can see, more vertexes and faces and subdivisions. And basically what I'm going to go here, I'm just going to go here and do a noise, and then you're going to have a lot of things here. So if I crank this up to 2, I'll have more noises going on. Now this is really harsh for the computer to calculate, like every single frame. So what I did was I just selected them both and it just said grant state to object, and then it just gave me this object, and that's the one that I'm using. That I'm using here. Let's just see it. You see here? So that's what I did. So I didn't want to reuse it, and then I put a Polyfix in here, and the reason I put a Polyfix is so that I can use this plane effector, which is only affecting the scale, position, and rotation. And so if we just look at this Polyfector, and then we just say, for example, the pulse here, you're gonna have this reveal going on. So without it, you won't be able to do anything. So to read the plane effector, you need a Polyfix, which is going to read every single subdivision you have in your mesh, and it's just going to apply all the MoGraph tools that you need. And I called it pulse for a reason. So let's do a little bit of a tutorial here. Let's just say that this is, let's just put a torus, because a torus is the best way to really describe this. So so if I turn on my subdivision, so this is my torus. I'm just gonna put a little bit more here, just so that it's slightly beautiful. I really don't like the work plane. So this is the torus. Normally, if you want to apply that, you're just gonna go put a Polyfix, put it in, right? And then you're going to go select Polyfix, go into the plane effector, and then the plane effector is affecting the Polyfix, which is really great. All right, so let's just put this back to 0. And let's just focus on this one now. We just want to focus on the scale because I need you to focus on what I'm trying to show you. So now the plane effector is affecting everything. Now I'm just going to say that I want you to only affect when this purple thing is here. So I expect you to know, to actually know what Falloff means by now. I'm not going to go into detail into that. So basically this is what happens, right? Now here's something that is really interesting. What you will do normally is you'll put a keyframe, and after like 20 frames you'll just drag this to the other side. Right, this is the normal animation that we see every single time. So I'm just gonna turn this off. I'll probably just take this and put it 35 just so that we can see a little bit of its glory. So it's kind of good, but it's slightly boring if you ask me. And the reason is everything is just moving the same exact way as it enters, and it leaves the same exact way as it enters. And the key to that is a little bit of details. Remember, the devil is in the details. So I'm just going to go inside remapping of the spherical field. I'm just going to do curve so that it can gives me to control how this works. So the same way it's gonna enter is the same way it's gonna end, which is not really what I want. So what I'm gonna do, for example, I'm just gonna do like this. Control, I press control here, and then I get this, and then I can do something like this. So it's not gonna reveal everything the same exact way as it enters, and it's not gonna de-reveal everything the same way it reveals them. So let me show you what this did. All right, so there is a little bit of detailed, you see that? There's a little bit of a detail on how things come in, on how things come out. And that's what happened here. That's why I call it the pulse. There's a little bit of details on how it comes in. There's a little bit of a play. It's like there's a little bit of a boomerang on how things come in and go out. And that was one of the most important things when it comes into creating this project, was this pulse fall off instead of just a normal fall off. Okay, and then I created a linear style of this for revealing. So I'm just gonna go here. Okay, so this is the linear, which is just a linear field that just goes in and just reveals everything that is behind. And then I just duplicated it, and I went and I inverted this. So it's like just went and inverted this. And so basically what this does is just the invert. It just deletes things. The reason I needed this too is just so that I can mask out the passes that I'm going to render from this, and mask in the passes that I'm going to render from this. So I don't have to do any masking myself. Everything is just automatic now. I'll have things made from Cinema 4D. Okay, so that is when it comes to the scan animation. I also did, if we look at here, okay, cool. Let's just do this one instead. Or maybe this, because it's less chaotic. So if we look at this here, I did a Mo extrude. What Mo extrude does is just takes every single polygon and it just extrudes it. And that's what I did. So now, whenever there is this fall off, I will have this polygons extruded. And that's what I need. The reason I need this, it's because when this thing is revealed, like the main thing that is building the main shape, the main silver platinum shape, I need that to be a little bit extruded to give it a little bit of a oomph. So it's like, so beautiful. So instead of just having a polygon, it's a cube. It's actually building. You see that? It's actually building, and it gives this beauty. It's subtle details like this that makes this whole thing. And so as you can see here, it's not polygons or computer stuff that you're just building it, but it's actually like the real things are getting built up. All right. Cool. So that's about the Mo extrude. It's a little bit heavy, so be careful. uh, yeah, so that's when it comes to that. And then we have other things that I tried as well. So I'm just going to turn this off. I'm just going to turn this off, and I'm going to turn this off for a bit. I'm just going to show you this. And then there's this atom thing. So this is just extra things that you can do. So it's like this atom, and this is just a stupid things from Xparticles, because it's no different. Like, it's no different from the what do we call that, the atom thing here. So it's just like, it's literally no difference. It's just stupid waste of money. And all these things, they are made by small developers for free, or for a very small amount of money, like $1 or $2 to get it, like these things. And you just get charged a lot by just having Xparticles, and literally they just rip off their work and they just put it here. So it's just stupid. I sorry guys, I really hate Xparticles. It's scummy company. That's just my own opinion. I don't like it for now. Maybe I'll change my opinion, but that's it for now. Okay, enough with the rant. That's extra things that I've done there. Another thing that I did was I built up this, I needed a little bit of environment. I didn't want this to just be revealed out of nothing. So I built up a little bit of a background boxes. And to do that, it's literally just, hold on, let me just get out. It's just like this. It's just a, let me show you the airplane. Cool. So I just built a boxes cloner. I put them in a cloner grid, and yeah, in a cloner grid, and then I put a random effector. The random effector is just what it's doing. It's just affecting the position and the scale. So it's just giving me different scales. And then later on, I'll just render this by using standard, and then just go into cell render, and that's what gives me this. It's like I'm in a VR world. Yeah, that's about the background. So I'm just gonna turn this off. Okay. The next thing that I need to talk about is this fill particle. So I'm just gonna talk about this thing here. So you can see that the particles are building up as they reveal that. You see that? It's like it's trying to build the leader effect. If you're not so sure about what leader effect is, you can just pause this video and Google it, so that you can understand a bit about it. And it's really important, especially aesthetically, so it can give you some idea. So it's leader effect. Just type that and search it on Google. Leader effect. LIDAR, LIDAR. I hope I didn't butcher the name there. So yeah. So to do that, basically, no, I did not use Xparticles. No, I don't use Xparticles. I don't. I hate that plugin, and I hate it with all my heart. If I want to use particles, I either use the built-in plugin, or I'll just use Houdini. I don't use Xparticles. So what I did was I just built a cloner, and in the cloner I went to object, and then I just put I just put my this guy here. I just put it in the object, and then I choose like 3,000 points. And then I take this cloner and I give it an effector of a plane effector to give it scale, just like I showed you just now. And it just reveals them. So I'm just going to hide the scan glass for a second here. So as you can see, we'll have a scan glass that just goes through that. And yeah, that's just how it's built. Beside that, I think we covered most things. All right, so let's look a little bit about something that is really interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna take this for a second. I'm just gonna take this, and I'm just gonna go to a new scene. I'm just gonna paste that, and I'm just gonna take this out. I'm just gonna take this out. I'm just gonna show you this. All right, so let's look at all these things in all its glory. Beautiful. And again, I hate the work plane. Okay, so what's going on here? We don't need this. So I'm gonna show you an effect of how I build these detail here. So you can see there's this scan effect that it's going on, and this scan effect is also building up in here, but you can't really see it because there's a lot of chaos in there. So basically what I'm talking about is There we go. So we have this kind of effect that is going on, and then we have this kind of effect that is going on. Then we have this kind of effect that is going on. So how do I build this thing? Like, this is the leader effect. So how do I build the leader effect? So it's very simple. You just create a material. It doesn't have to be Richard's material. It's just a normal material. Just put it there. And what you have is, you just have that, which is pretty boring. Now, I'm going to double click and I'm going to turn off everything. Okay, so now it's black on black. Once you go black, you never, ever come back. So I'm just gonna go on luminance because I don't need lights. I just want the texture to illuminate my object. And so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go into surfaces and I'm gonna go into tiles. Now you're gonna have this very, 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 very boring tile thing, and you're like, how can I use this? Well, for a second, just hold on with me. The first thing we're gonna do is we have a little bit of a texturing problem here. So now it's using the UVW, all right? So it's not BBW, or BBC, it's UVW, okay? So not BBW, I repeat, UVW mapping. So it's not, now it's using that, but I wanted to use kind of like a cubic, so everything is in a cube. Now you still see it as like, what the hell are you doing? Well, let's go inside. So if we go inside and make this like 20%, now you're gonna start to see what I'm talking about. So everything is now just, you know, it's like it's sticking. It's like it's being painted from the outside rather than UVW. All right. So everything is just sticking outside. So you just go like 10%, then you'll have this kind of effect. All right. So the problem now with this one, is the colors. So if we go and let's just put everything into like a blackish kind of way, a little bit of a dark gray here, and we will have this kind of effect. So I'm just gonna go and randomize this. Now I'm just gonna have everything. There's a little bit randomized. So I'm just gonna go here and do a bit of a spacing. I think that's a lot of a spacing, so I'm just gonna go and decrease the spacing between that. I'll probably do a 1%. There we go. So this is how you do a leader effect. So if you don't like square, you can actually go a little bit to hexagons, and now you're gonna have this kind of effect. If you don't like too much of them, you can just turn one of them white, and everything else is just black. So that's how you build the leader effect. And again, remember that you can just choose from all these really beautiful thing, and you can always just go ahead and just put this even smaller. There you go. You get more and more details by just playing with this technique. And you can just literally just render it, and it's just gonna render in a second. Not even a second, it's gonna render in a frame of a second. It's so fast because it's built in, and there is no light, there is nothing. So that's how you build the leader effect. Cool. Now let's talk about what kind of passes did I go. Well, the first thing you're gonna see is this beautiful AO pass. What is the AO pass? AO is short for ambient occlusion. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove this for a second. And I don't need this for, so I'm just gonna put this one. Okay, well, that's too bad. I need to restart my Cinema 4D. I'm not gonna do that now. So okay, so I'm just gonna do this scan. I'm just gonna take it off. I'm just gonna put the, oh well, I need to restart Cinema 4D, so give me a second. Yeah, I'm not gonna edit this video, so you might want to just scrub through the timeline to see when Cinema 4D opened. Don't have time to edit this, sorry. And so that's how the little squirrel found the love letter that I sent it to him. Then he spoke Japanese to me, and he was like, dude, where is the butter jam? I'm like, quite a better gem. You can always go and watch Bella Porch on TikTok. So I'm just gonna open the file for a second. Just give me a sec. There we go. All right, cool. So it's taking its time, right, guys? I mean, it's only when you record a tutorial that your After Effects and Cinema 4D wants to take their time. It's always like this. And then they wonder, why are my tutorials so long? Because I talk crap in every single tutorial. And there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so what is the AO? Let's look at the AO. So first we have this dome light. So I have a dome light. Yo, dude, I mean, come on, I'm recording. Son of a sluta. Yo, dude, Cinema 4D, like, we pay you money. Why are you... Okay, cool. All right, so chill. Okay, so we have this, we have a dome light, and basically what I did was I put this AO texture. So what is this AO texture? It's basically an ambient occlusion. So all I did, I'm just gonna remove this. So I'm just gonna show you. Okay, so you have your normal glass thing. So I put a glass material and I changed the color of the refraction, and then there's this AO thing. So if we go here and then put AO, so it's just gonna go here. I'm just gonna show you what AO is. So it's basically those shadows between each polygon in this model, or the model that you have. So it's just literally just making shadow. But then if you put this, so let's just go back a bit. If you put this in linked with the refraction and the reflection, it will only show on those areas with the color that you gave. And then it's going to be really beautiful. And then when you put it on, your mask reveal, like the Falloff, now my computer is starting to slow. Just gonna turn this off. Okay, so and then when you put it on a Falloff, this is what you get. All right, and then the other thing that I did was I rendered a cell animation of this normal subdivision, like a slightly improved subdivision, and then I went and I did the extreme subdivision count, and then I went and I did another one, but this one, it's the pulse, it's not the direct reveal. So you have a normal reveal, and then you have the pulse reveal, which is this one. You see, it's very, very detailed pulse reveal. And then we have the cubes. Again, it's just the cube cell. Then we have a curvature. Curvature is basically the same thing as AO when it comes to how you set it up. So yeah, so it's just you put a curvature and just put it into the diffuse color, and you get this result. Literally, you just apply it like that, and that's the result that you get. And then we have the default material. Like this is the when it's built. Like this is when it's done. You have this material. I could have worked on it more, but I didn't want to care because I'm just making a tutorial. And then we have the default no material thing. So it's just lit by the light and HDRI. I made one with the glass, but then I did a little bit of a trick in it. So we have a Fresnel. So just like the AO, I take this Fresnel thing and I put it on the reflection and refraction rate. And just so you understand what Fresnel is, I'm just going to go and I already discussed this in other previous tutorials. So we're just going to put a cube and we're just going to go to a redshift material and we're just going to put it there And now if I go here and I call in a Fresnel, for example, and I just put it here, you'll be able to see. So that's the Fresnel. It's like it just chooses the kind of edges, but I think this is like the worst scenario of how to show a Fresnel. So I'm just gonna go with our friend Taurus. It's not my friend, it's just don't really like him. So just gonna put it there. Yo dude, put it there. Cool. So we have a very small Fresnel, and that's exactly what she didn't say. So as you can see, Fresnel just gives you, whenever you see, it's like it gives you this beautiful highlight. So it's just this highlight on the edges of your object. So no matter where you look on your object, your Fresnel is always going to be following your camera. You see? So it's always going to follow this camera. So you get these beautiful highlights. And this is the kind of renderings that they use in Pokemon, in many other games and stuff like that. They use this Fresnel technique to give a little bit of a highlight. And when you put this in the refraction and reflection, you get beautiful results. For example, here. Okay, so if I try to go here and put this one in there, you'll see that I get that. Okay, so without it, this is what I get. You see? So I just get those, I just get these edges kind of Fresnel. But then when I put it with the refraction and weight and reflection weight, it's like I mask the Fresnel with this. So that's what I get. So that's what it comes to Fresnel. Okay, I'm not going to do the same mistake, so I'm just going to go and pose this. Okay. And then I have a light beam, so I just made a cylinder. I just went and I made a cylinder and just made them pass through. I also have this mask out. You can't see it unless I do this. So I just have this mask out. And then I have a mosaic thing that we talked about it. I just used, when it comes to this, I'm just going to show you. So when it comes to that, all I did was same thing, just I added layers here. So it's like you just go here and you put layers and you'll just get stacks of layers. And then I just went and I created a noise and then I multiplied it on top of the hex. And that's what it gave me. So it gave me these kind of selected areas, mosaic square. LiDAR effects. And then I got this because I needed more details. And then I needed very small details that are all the way through. And then of course we have the particle fill. And then we have the scan with the poly extrude. Now, it is really important to talk about something here as well, which is, why did you render everything black and white? Well, that's the whole point. Because if I render everything black and white, I can control the color here. It's way better than having the colors outside from Cinema 4D and then having here. And then it's going to be a nightmare if I want to control the color. It's going to be a huge nightmare. So this is how the After Effects project file looks like. So obviously we have grains. We have a vignette. I'm just going to put this here. We have a vignette. We have a bunch of CCs. I tried a lot of things. So we have a chromatic aberration. You can see on the side. We have sharpen. Sharpen is really important for this effect. And I did a little bit of curve just so that I can get the right colors there. I did a little bit. I played a little bit with some text here, just for fun. I also went for form textures, I just made form and these form textures. If we go to the form PRT, cool. So I just made a bunch of shapes, and these shapes they just show there on the form. Just use them as a particle sprite. And then we have the curvature. I just put the curvature in there and I colored it this way. I played a lot with the rough and edge, as you can see. And I did a dip glow, so yeah. So that's how we use the curvature. I used the particle fill. For the particle fill, as you can see here, what I did was I colored it and then I gave it deep glow, and then it just gave me this beautiful glow. Okay, most of the things are on add. And then we have the AO. The AO, I didn't like the red after a while, so I just went and I changed it to blue just so that I can go with the palette that I was creating. Another thing I did here for the cell object, which is this cell animation, I just did a bunch of things. So the first thing that I did was I got rid of the I inverted it so that I can go and get rid of the black points. So now it's just transparent. And then I went for a gradient, because if I don't do this, I will get this. So I needed to do this. You see, I needed to do this so that I can only color the lines. And when I colored the lines, I went and I did a deep glow, and then it just gave me this beautiful glow. And then we have this glass Fresnel. Nothing much here. I just went and I tinted it a bit. So I just removed some of the colors that I didn't like. So I just desaturated it. I went to a mosaic effect. The mosaic effect, as you can see here. So what I did here, it's pretty interesting. I'm just going to show you here. This was just a huge luck kind of thing. So you will have a mosaic like this reveal effect. I'm just going to turn off everything. So you'll have that thing that I rendered, remember, from cinema footage just now. And I just gave it a 3-tone so that I can have different colors like this. And then I went and I played with the curve on how much I see of these, and then I glowed them. And when I glowed them, I'm like, I still could do way better than this. And then I gave it mosaic, and it just gave me this beautiful effect. Like, I really did not meant to do this. I do still think there is a stream on my Twitch channel where I think I intended this to be on another layer, and it just put on this layer by mistake, and I was like, oh shit, I actually like this. So yeah, so that's how I built this, and then I just masked it with the mask out pass. We have another mosaic here, which is this beautiful reveal thing, and then I have another mosaic, which is the very small details, and it's masked out by this. Cool. Another thing is the scan poly. So we have this scan, and I just went and I turned it into turned off all the colors. So I just wanted to have that there. So when it's below, it doesn't really take a lot of the attention, and it doesn't bring in any different colors that are the color of the palette. Another thing I did here, which is one of the most complicated, I think, layer, which is this orange reveal, which is the power reveal. And this was the bread and crumb of everything that I've built in this effect. So this is like the secret of it all. It's just adding this. So this is the pulse reveal, which has a lot of subdivision. So let's just go into it. I'm just going to delete this. I'm just going to delete this so that I don't... Cool. So again, I went and I took off all the to make it transparent. Okay, and then I went and I tinted that into this color. And then I went and I played with the hue and saturation, and then I gave it a deep glow. Well, it doesn't end there. So I went and I duplicated this, and then it gave me this, because I added a vector blur. Okay, so without it, it's literally just a duplicate. But then I gave it a vector blur. And now, when this is revealing, it gives you this kind of really beautiful, it's like it rotates around the object. So when you look at it like that, it gives you this beautiful filling. It's like it's filling things. And that was one of the secrets to this whole thing. And then, of course, we have this very small... again, the cell, but in different reveal, you know, and different colors. And then the last one, which is the background. So I just did the exact same thing that I did for everything else. I do remember that I went and I played a little bit with form, but then because of the camera, I just got messed up. So here what I did was I had this form thing. It actually looked pretty good. But yeah, I didn't want to lose the other forms, so I just deleted it. And then we have the silver thing. And then we have the default thing here. So I just went and I played a little bit with the curve so that I can have it only down, so I don't have too much here. And then I went and I added the beam, the lines that just plays through when the camera is rotating, as you can see here. Of course, we have a little bit of a form texture that just plays in the background, and we have our background. So that's all in all, that's just how I created this effect. I hope you learned a bit. I know that this is a little bit long, but that's how you break down complicated things. It looks complicated from the outside, but once you know the technique, it's really not that complicated. You just have to be focused and relax and have fun. Just enjoy this. Do not stress out. Do not stress out when you're working on this kind of projects. It's meant to be personal. You know, chill. Enjoy the art. Enjoy the process. It's really important that you enjoy the process, not just always look for the end result. Always enjoy the process. The end result will come when you deserve it, when you work hard for it, when things will come all together. So just enjoy the process. Again, this thing was literally just a luck thing. I started with the cube, and then I went to that, keep on forgetting the name, platonic. And then I went and I played with the platonic, and then I liked it, and then I said I just want to download a model, a big heavy model, so that I can try it on and just work. And as you can see here, before I start any animation, before I do anything, I start with a style frame. Style frame looks really crap, but yeah, just as you can see. So this is how I start. I do a style frame first, and when I like the style frame, I'm like, okay, cool. I think I can take it to the next level with a little bit of animation. And I think I did. I don't know. Let me know in the comment. Was this helpful? Was this good? That's it. That's for the breakdown. If you want the step-by-step, please check the link below to get the project files and to see the in-detail step-by-step tutorial for this thing. Well, I'm gonna take you one step by one step. I'll take you by the hand. I'll love you. I'll give you some Polyfix. So we're nearly close to getting the goal for my Patreon. So I just want to thank all my Patreons, like literally all of them. Like the list is so huge that I don't know what to do now. Like the list is super huge now. And I thank you all for trusting me and giving me a platform to share whatever I found out. I hope you found this useful once again. Don't forget to like, to comment, let me know what you think. What you think I should have done better. What you think you learned from this. And what do you want to see next? My name is Mr. Popo. And I'll see you on the next one. But of course, we are Popo. I'm not Popo only. We are. All right. See ya.